Bootcamp. So yes, I'm very excited today. I'm joined by a member of the product team, Neha, who you'll hear from a little bit later. Today's day 2 of the pre-event, and today we're going to talk about the Field Service Mobile PowerApp, which is the new mobile platform, along with inspections capability, which we see is going hand in hand with the new mobile app. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about remote assist and the integration between field service, and also just some new features across remote assist. And then on Saturday, we have a bunch of different speakers across all different areas of field service. And that's a really good opportunity to hear from the community and hear what they're doing as they're implementing and architecting field service. And I just want to say, thanks a lot to Sean, Auntie, Mark, Ben Vomer, and Roz Dynamics for organizing this and putting it together. Really appreciate it. All the community building that they're doing. I know that some people didn't get a chance to join yesterday, so I just want to quickly reiterate that as of 2 weeks ago, that we have released a bunch of new features for field service as part of early access, which means that you can opt into it and get it 2 months before they become generally available starting in October. Lots of really great updates across proactive service, which is how work orders are created and resolved, asset servicing, which is the branch of field service that integrates with asset management, scheduling, which is what we spoke about yesterday, advancements across the schedule board, across automated scheduling, and other different usability factors. And then technician success, which is really what we're going to talk about today. You're going to see lots of advancements that we'll talk about in the Field Service Mobile PowerApp and inspections capability, as long as a very cool feature that's coming, which is called the Technician Locator feature, which is basically the idea that a technician can share their live location with a customer on a portal and send notifications as they're arriving on site. And we'll have more webinars that are specifically devoted to these new features in September. If you wanted to install these early access features, you can go to your trial environment or your paid environment. You're going to want to go to the Power Platform Admin Center. And from there, you can select your environment, and you'll see that there'll be a Wave 2 update available. And you're going to want to hit Manage and then Update. And what you're going to be looking for is Field Service 8829. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the Field Service Mobile Power App. Mark, Sean, Auntie, is there anything you wanted to add before we jumped in, or should I just get going?
No, I just want to see more of the app, so let's go.
I think we're good to go. Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, yeah, let's roll.
I would like to mention that the first hour is going to be presentation, but the second hour is going to be workshop and Q&A. So either put your questions in the chat or just save them for the second hour. And what we'll do is we'll go through some of the instructions, and we'll just have a very collaborative environment where we can ask questions. And we have Neha here, who's from the product team. All right, so just a few things. Let me see if I can go ahead and pull up my app. Let's see. Gonna go here. I'm always interested to see what applications people use to mirror their phones. I've landed on this one, which is a PowerMirror, but seems like there's so many out there. I will say though, one thing about this PowerMirror is that every time I disconnect, I actually have to close it out. It's a little bit of a bummer. Okay, let's see. Okay. Let's get the QR code going. Let's see if I can mirror it this time. All right. So Field Service Mobile Power App. You can see it's a new application. You can see it here. It has the official Dynamics 365 mobile logo. And this is a little bit different from the previous mobile app, which is right here. That mobile app continues to be supported, and it will be supported through 2022. We're asking that within a year, new deployments will begin to use this field service mobile Power App. But don't worry, field service mobile, it's still going to be supported. And it actually, depending on which features your customers need, it is the recommended app currently. So I'll just quickly pull up the new app. I'm taken here to the booking screen. So a few quick notes. This is built on the PowerApps platform. It is a model-driven Power App, and it is purpose-built with the field technician in mind. So they are working with the Power Platform team, and they are making sure that as requirements come up that are related to field service and related to on-site service, they're making sure that they can continue to service that community. So they want to use the Power Platform as just that, a platform, and they want to make sure that they're going towards the best mobile experience for these technicians. In many scenarios, they're going to use what the platform has. In other scenarios, they're going to build custom stuff specifically for the field service, and they're actually going to go back to the platform team and then tell them to incorporate it into the larger platform. So basically what I'm trying to say is that it's built on the platform, but it's not limited by the platform. It's a very collaborative experience. It's a standalone app you can get in the App Store. All you have to do is search for Dynamics 365 Field Service, and you should see it. One of the big advantages is that it's a single maker platform across web and mobile. So a lot of the investments you'll make in setting up the field service on the web, a lot of that will translate to the mobile. And I think this is a bit of a departure from what many of us are used to now, where configuring the mobile app is a different experience. It's a different admin experience, and it actually takes a lot of time. So obviously, if you create a work order form on web, you probably can't use that exact form on mobile, but it's going to be a lot easier to take that form and copy it over and display it on the mobile rather than having to recreate it from scratch. A lot of that, another big feature of this is maximum business logic reuse across web and mobile. So as you're writing workflows on the web server side, those can be used on mobile as well. It's built and maintained by Microsoft. It's a first-party app. Like I said, it's a model-driven Power App. It has offline support, and that offline support is growing. But you could be assured that today you can use all of your entities, and the only development that they're doing going forward is they're just adding more abilities for you to customize and configure how offline works. But all the entities you can add work offline. It's approaching feature parity with the current mobile app. Every single release, it's going to be closer and closer to the things that you can do. And I think, one thing that's worth highlighting is when you talk about an app that's built on Power Platform, it makes it much easier to utilize other investments that Microsoft and Dynamics are making. And I think the two easiest examples of that are going to be Remote Assist and Power Virtual Agent. Just because those are working more and more with the Power Platform, it's going to be much easier to expose those in the mobile experience. Okay, let me make sure that I don't lose connection here. All right, so let's just do a quick tour of this as well. Okay, so here I am on, this is the home screen when you log in. I am seeing a list of my work orders. I actually ran resource scheduling optimization this morning, and it created a schedule for me for the next 2 days. If I hit this hamburger icon in the top, I'm taking to my sitemap. And you'll notice that because this is an early access, because you're getting this, if you do update to the early access release of field service, you're going to see things available on the mobile like IoT alerts, functional location, time off request, and time entries, as well as the basic entities like bookings and work orders. If I go to the top here, This is how I can sign out or reconfigure. Reconfigure allows you to choose which instance you want, whether it's a production or a test or a dev. If there's only one production, then it's going to automatically go to that production. This is how I can sign out. Let's see, in the bottom left here, if I go to this cloud icon, that's how I can go into offline mode if I want. So it says work in offline mode. Right now, I'm working in online mode, but I can go ahead and tap this. Oh, one moment. Let's see. Oh, I'll have to check this. Let's see. Records per page. Let me see about this bill, but yes, you would go here into offline mode. What else do we have here? Recent records. And if I go here and I go down to this gear symbol, things like what time zone you're in, how many records per page, the calendar, and you want to be able to enable location sharing, camera, video recording, microphone, and more. All right, so if I head to a work order here, I can view this in a calendar view, or I can go to the ellipses here, choose show as, and then go to, there's the calendar, or I can show it as the grid, which is going to give you more of that view, that entity view look. And from here, I can go into a booking. And one thing to notice is very similar to, or exactly the same as the previous mobile app, is that it's combining the booking and the work order forms. So this is actually one example of an advancement where they said we needed this for field service, and they went to the PowerApp's platform team and they said you need to help us enable this. So this first tab here, which is general, this is showing the booking form. But once I go over to the other one, which is customer service and notes, this is actually looking at the work order entity. So we have the, if I'm general, I can see when this is scheduled for, just basic booking information, how long it is. If I go to the customer tab, I'm seeing the work order information, I'm seeing the address, I'm seeing a map that I can interact with. It's giving me estimated number of miles away. And just like before, I can choose get directions, and it's going to pull up the map on my phone. Oop, one moment. Let me get my connection going. Apologies here. I have a dev build going, so some things are a little bit in the works still. Let's see. Service tab. This is another example where you're displaying all your service tasks, your products and services. And what they're doing is they're doing a lot of great, again, to really go after that field service, that field technician persona. They're doing things that are making it easier to work with. So for example, rather than having to go up here and hit the ellipsis and say, I want to create a new work order service task, what they're doing is they're servicing these buttons here. So I can create a new work order product without, with one tap rather than two. And, you can see they're using PowerApp's controls here, like this is a button option set toggle. We have the yes, no toggle here. Go ahead and discard that. From a work order service task, I can tap this and, mark it as complete. Completed successfully, and I could just see more information about this work order here. This one happens to be one that is a instant type is a unit is overheating. I'm seeing the customer asset as well. Notes section, the ability to add notes. You could see there's camera, there's video, there's microphone. You can make an attachment. I can go down here and add a signature as well. This is an example of just feature parity with the current mobile app, the work order summary. And one thing that's very interesting is if I go to more, you'll see that there's a deep link to the remote assist application. So if I go ahead and tap that, it's going to open up Remote Assist. And what it's doing is it's actually picking up the support contact field on the work order, and it's automatically prompting me to say, this work order recommends this person. So I can go ahead, launch call, and do a remote assist call. And just to quickly show you what I'm talking about in the system is if I head over to my work order here, this is the same work order, and in the settings tab, you see I have a support contact. This is a bookable resource that is related to a user. So I have the support contact, it's this bookable resource record, and you'll notice that this bookable resource record relates to a user, and this user has an email address. So that's how it's finding who to call. This person should be in your Azure Active Directory. It should be part of your tenant. But with Remote Assist, there are ways to work with people outside of your tenant using things like guest access. All right. Let's see, I can just go to recent, back to 212. All right. Back here. And then let's do one more check. See if we get this offline mode to work. You know what? I'll probably log into another environment that's not a dev environment and just show you how offline works. I'll show you the admin experience for offline. Let's do that real quick. So if I head over to here, let's see, there we go. And what I want to do is I want to go over to, let's see, I'll go over to advanced settings. Let's see, get this to load. And if I go to settings here, you'll see that there's a section here called mobile offline. And this is where you're going to be able to pick and choose which entities should be available offline. And there's different ways that you can configure this, and you can create different profiles. So if I go to my mobile offline profiles, there's going to be one that is going to be available out of the box by default. It's called Field Service Mobile Offline Profile. And what it's saying here is, here are all the records that should be available offline. So for example, the first one is account, and this is saying it's actually going to pull down all account records. This is something that you might want to edit based on how many accounts you have. Other examples are a custom filter. Let's see an example of bookable resource bookings, which are just our bookings, has a custom data filter. And you can see that there are associated items, so you can define the different rules for the data filter. So you might want to say something like the bookings should only be available ones that are in the next 7 days or have occurred in the past 7 days. So this is saying only show bookings that have been available in the last 1 day or are going to start within the next 7 days. Another example is you have custom data filters. Another important one is download related data. So what does this mean? Let's take a look at incident type products, or rather maybe work order products would actually be better. Let's see. So work order products, download related data only. So let's take a look at that. It's Okay, so first you'll create work order products. You want to download work order products to the mobile. You'll say download related data only, and then you'll need to choose which entity it should be related to. So in this example, we only want to relate work order products that are related to work orders that are downloaded. So first, all you do is just define what data download filter it should be, and then you actually have to go to the related entity. So in this case, I believe it is work orders. You can see work orders, and it has related work order products. You add it here as an association. So now whatever work orders are downloaded, then related work order products will be downloaded to the mobile app as well. And this is an area where they're constantly looking to grow. There's a lot of ways in which companies want to have control over their data and have control over what gets downloaded. And this is an example of where they're looking to expand. However, just engineering offline mode takes a lot of work and a lot of energy, and I'm really happy that they were able to get it done for GA. So just a few more things before I hand it off to Neha. I want to quickly talk about what is coming next. Now, some of you may see when you download this, some of you may already have available the new calendar app. So basically that calendar view on the work order, or when you first log in, it's going to be modeled after the Outlook mobile experience. And depending on what region you're in, when you install the early access feature, you're actually going to see this new calendar experience, which will feel and look very familiar for those using Outlook mobile. Map and directions, note taking. We do have barcode scanning available on this mobile app. Time off reporting. So there's two ways to record or time off. You can go ahead and say if you're taking vacation. We also have time entry. Two ways to do time entry. You can actually just go and manually create a time entry, or you can have it be done automatically through the work order process, where there'll be time entries created related to your work orders, your booking statuses. To customize it, you can customize it in the same way that you customize the Power Platform. This is true for the sitemap, forms, views, commands, and more. And I just want to take a moment to talk about things that are coming. So things that are already available, new calendar view, time entry, the remote assist deep link, which I showed, the ability to use and view connected field service information and use connected field service remote commands is available. For that, you need internet access, but we do have it available. Inspections, you can view inspections on the field service mobile app. And then we have lots of other things coming as well. So one ask was, yes, we have offline mode, but many people want to be able to do offline mode by default. That's something that's going to be available in October. Push notifications. That's the idea that when I'm scheduled for a work order, I'll get a push notification on my phone saying you've been scheduled. So that's going to be available in December. Geofencing, which is the idea that when I get near a specified location, let's say an account location, certain actions can be performed. Like, let's say the booking status can automatically become arrived on site or in progress once I'm within 100 meters of my service account. That's something that's available for Field Service Mobile, and it's going to be available for this new Field Service Mobile Power App in December. Along with geofencing, you're going to have location tracking and location auditing. And this is something that's important to understand. What are the coordinates of the mobile application? That can be factored into scheduling. It can be factored into the new technician locator experience that's coming in December as well. Another popular one is offline reporting. They'd be able to generate reports offline and then be able to send those as a PDF, let's say, to the customer. And lots of other features. Now, if you want to be able to keep track of what is coming, all you have to do is go to our public docs page. And let me just go ahead and put this in the chat while I have everyone here. And what we have is a feature comparison between field service. This is the PowerApp, Field Service Dynamics 365. Field Service Mobile, this is the in-market experience built on the Xamarin platform. And what we're doing is we're letting everyone know what features are available and when new features will be coming. Excellent. So the last thing I want to show, and this will tie into Neha's presentation. Let's see if I still have it up. Let's see. No. Let me go ahead and just reconnect this real quick. All right. Let me scan my phone, get the QR code. All right. Last thing worth mentioning here is let me go ahead and head to my work order. And from here, I'm going to go to the service tab and go to my service tasks. And you can see I have here my fire extinguisher inspection. And here I'm exposing the new inspections capability on the application. And, I can go ahead and start working with all the different question types. And this is something that will work offline as well. But yeah, I think this is just a brief interview of the Field Service Mobile Power App. If you stick around to the second hour, feel free to ask more questions about it. And what we'll do is we can go through some of the setup together, whether it's just installing the latest components, if you want to set up offline profiles, if you want to customize the sitemap, we can all do those sorts of things together, and we'll hand out the instructions for that. So I see that there's some questions in the chat. I promise we'll get to them in the second hour. But with that, I'd like to hand it over to Neha, who's going to talk more about inspections. Neha, do we have you on the line?
Yep. Thank you, David. And good morning, everyone. Let me share my screen. Do you hear it echo?
I don't. Do you hear an echo?
Okay.
Yes,
Yes. I'm hearing an echo.
Yes.
Got an echo.
Maybe if I mute, let's see.
Wait a sec.
That's better.
Yeah, it should be better. I think it was my phone and I had connected via that as well. Cool. Let me share my screen.
Okay. Very close to an airport, it sounds like.
Yeah, somehow there's lots of noise from the road.
I'm seeing the presenter view of PowerPoint, and now I'm seeing now I'm seeing PowerPoint.
Okay, give me a second.
And then if you go to display settings in the top there, right on this view, yeah, you could say swap. Perfect.
Good. Yeah. So as most of you are already aware, we did a preview back in April, and we are getting towards a GA in October. And I'm sure most of you have already tried inspection bits. If not, we are there in early access, and today would be a quick start for you guys. Otherwise, we are just going to go over the key features that are there in inspections going live in October. And this is the list of features. So I will be doing a demo right now with a couple of these in detail. We have a bunch of new controls that we have added. We have also added page support in early access. Conditional logic had already been released in June. Required question support is there. We have support for the new PowerApp field service mobile, as well as the Xamarin based app. And of course, offline support is there. And the last but not the least is capability to pass the inspection responses out of the box, and the data would be there in CDS. So I would be demoing that as well today. So moving on to the environment. So this is the inspections entry in the settings. From here, you can launch the designer canvas where you can create a new inspection. I will create a inspection to show you all the controls. So you have checkbox, radio group, text box, drop down, entity lookup where you can see the CRM Dynamics entities. So you can configure this entity lookup to say, let's say customer asset, and then you can choose the attribute, which is the name in this case. Other than entity lookup, you can add a number control. And for the number control, you can also specify the range. And we do the validation if the number caters to that range. You can also specify if the number is a whole number, and then it won't get automatically any zeros added to it, decimals added to it. Other than that, we have the datetime control. And in the datetime control, you can also specify date only or time only. If you see the canvas, it's changing to date or time only. And then this is the file control, which you can use to attach images, PDFs, videos. But currently we have a limit on the size, I think, which is 128 MB. And we are looking at improving that limit beyond the October GA, hopefully by December. So this is the bunch of controls. And let me go ahead and add another page to it. So this is the new page. You can add it to say the title of the page, and then add some more controls to the page. This is the preview tab where you can see how your preview looks like. And here is the conditional logic. So you can add rules to govern which questions to show or hide, or which pages to show or hide. I will set up a simple rule. So let's say if question 1 equals 1, easy to remember. Set action is make page visible, and I say the second page is visible if question 1 is value 1. Save the rule, and here it's there. Let's go back to the preview and check. So the second page is not visible because we have hidden it behind the conditional logic. And if I give a value of 1 here, the next page is visible. So that's how you can have multiple pages within your inspection. So once you're all done, you can publish it. Let me save it first. Yeah. So if you would have noticed, there's a new tab called versions which appears, which shows you the latest draft as well as the last published version. By that, what I mean is if I publish now, yeah, In versions, you see the latest published version. Another feature that we have added in early access is this revise capability. So if you want to add more questions or you have later versions of the inspection with more details added, you can go revise the published inspection, which creates another draft of it. So if you see in the versions tab now, you can see the last published as well as the latest draft. Now you can go ahead, add more questions and save your draft. And once I publish, so now it is showing only one entry because it's the latest published that we are currently showing. So eventually in future, we may show older versions here as well in this tab, but for now it's the latest published and the latest draft. Okay, so let's move on. So this is how the inspection looks like. There is one more capability that we have added, which is export to PDF. And this comes in handy if you have to share a checklist with the customer upfront. A disclaimer, you cannot fill in at import today, so it's not a replacement for completing the inspection, but it's just a handy checklist for you. So as you can see, the questions are coming up. So this is what we have released in early access. Once the inspection is published, it's available to the service task types. You can create new service task types and you can associate to work order service tasks. Inspections are today exposed as service tasks. So let me go ahead and show that part to you quickly. I'm sure most of you have already tried this. I'll not go create a new service task type, but I have already created one, so I'll use that. And once you associate a service task type of inspection, you can see the inspection questions appearing. It's a pre-created one that I'm using for this demo. Let me save and close. Now let me switch on to my mobile and show you the experience there. Since David has already shown the experience with the new mobile app, I will show with the current Xamarin one. Let me share my mobile screen. Okay, so I already have a booking that I have created. And as you can see, there are a bunch of service tasks. Since I've already completed these, I'll go ahead and create a new one.
We cannot see your mobile screen.
Oh, okay. Let me try joining again.
Yeah, right now we're seeing the model-driven app.
Oh, okay. That's strange. Let me try to share my mobile screen again. Let me know if you can see it now.
Yes.
Cool. So this is a booking in the current mobile app. And here is a bunch of service tasks. Let me go ahead and create the one as I did in web app. This is the new. Okay. Demo gods, my screen is kind of hung. Cool. So once I save it, I am able to see the inspection. As you can see here, let me go ahead and quickly try to complete it as well. So let's put some data in it. I hope that won't take a long time, and we are done. So before I complete this inspection, I do want to talk about the response parsing part. We have added support uh, in terms of flows that will help you parse the data, and you do not need to do the custom logic that you were doing with the preview bits. So what that means is as soon as I mark this complete, the flow would be triggered and the data would be available in CDS. Okay, let me go ahead and save it. Yep. Cool. So let me show you the experience of how it looks, the response parsing looks. So there's a new tab called inspection. This would come in GA. It's not released in early access, and it has multiple different options for you to specify the frequency at which the parsing should be done. If it is set to immediately, then as soon as the technician completes the inspection, we launch the flow to do the response parsing, which breaks the big JSON response into individual question responses, and they would be available for you to do the analytics. So let me show how it looks. So just now I have completed an inspection. And as you can see, there was this flow that was triggered to do the response parsing. And this is a dashboard that
the mobile app.
you are seeing the mobile app. Okay, I should stop sharing the screen then. Okay, are you able to see my desktop now?
Not just yet.
Not yet. Okay, let me try resharing. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Cool. So as I was saying, this is the flow that was run just almost a minute back when I completed the inspection. And let me show you the results of that. So this is a Power BI report that I have created using the responses. And currently it says 10 inspections. I'm updating the data. Okay, so so the dashboard is a bit old. There were multiple inspections completed. So here you can see it's just a sample dashboard that has been created. So you won't be able to get the full picture from it, but just a glimpse of how you can do your visualizations here. Let me reduce and make it bigger. So this was the inspection that I just completed, which had questions related to a filter. And you can create your own analytics charts showing different kind of analytics that you want. And another thing is that this data we are pushing into Forms Pro tables. Let me show that as well. So we are pushing the data finally after parsing into Forms Pro tables. Reason being that we want to use it in future for getting the analytics that Forms Pro does. That doesn't mean that our backend is using Forms Pro. That's totally separate. We are not using Forms Pro, but the data, the past data, we are pushing into Forms Pro tables for multiple reasons and benefits. And you can pull that out from Forms Pro tables and do your analytics. I am not able to. Just give me a second. I have stopped sharing the screen just for a minute. This should be good. Let me share it again. Yeah, so as I said, the data is there in Forms Pro tables, which is now called customer voice. So in customer voice survey question response, you can see individual records that had been pushed by the flows. So with this response parsing, you would be able to get your own analytics and reports on top of inspections. Unfortunately, we would not be doing any out-of-the-box reports in GA, but FSM, the new PowerApp, is working on reporting feature that would probably be live by December. And we may be able to include inspections as part of those reports, wherein the technician can create on-site reports and send to the customer as a PDF. So that's in progress still for December. So that's mainly it. I think I covered most of the things that I planned. This is what you will see in GA in October. Beyond that, we are trying to make some enhancements related to image viewing, annotations, etc. that would align with the new PowerApp December release. And we are still working on the next wave features. So any feedback on that front would be good. With that, there is one more thing that I can show. Yeah. Let me share my screen again. Yes. So with our file control, today we do not have capability to add comments or descriptions with each file or image. That was a customer feedback, and we would be adding capability to add comments with each file. This feature would be live with GA again. So this is based on customer feedback that we are making a UX change on top of the early access. What I did not show was this clear responses button. Once you are doing the inspection and you want to reset, clear out all the responses while you are filling, you can use, the technician can use this clear responses button, and it confirms and cleans up all the responses that had been saved for that inspection. This is basically for starting fresh. So that's it. I think we still have some time and we can jump into the questions now.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks, Neha.
Well,
Thanks, everyone.
thank you very much. Well, I've been making a note of the questions as we've gone through. So, David, do you want me to go through maybe the first 4 or 5, and then we can then jump into doing the hands-on lab?
Yeah, let's go through some.
Okay, so first one was Phil Cole. Will the field service mobile app eventually be merged with the current PowerApp's apps, or is the plan to keep it a separate mobile application?
You know, there's no plan to do that now. And to be honest, actually don't see that something that directionally they're going to want to go in. And the reason I say that is because they want to maintain the idea that it is a mobile app for field technicians, by field technicians, and they want to keep the experience very focused on field service and not necessarily be another Power App. They want to be able to use the Power Apps platform, but they want this to be a dedicated mobile app to the field technician. So I would say that directionally, I don't see it going that way.
Okay. So next one was Zachary Hardwood.